Welcome to
A Blue Room Podcast.
where a husband and wife duo combines their love of history, pop culture, and the latest drama to bring you a funny, informative, and intriguing podcast. Welcome to our Blue Room.
Kind of fell off at the end right there.
I thought I was going to do so well. We took not on purpose, but we took a 2-week break, and I was like, I can do this without my script. And I got too confident at the end, and I apologize.
I mean, you were almost there.
Well, anyway,
If almost was a medal.
okay, man. So you're getting this Friday, so happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, Good Friday.
It is Good Friday, and it's a long weekend for a lot of us, so that's pretty nice,
Yeah.
honestly. We have, do you want to do a catch-up really quick? Tell
No.
people. No? You just want to get right to it?
Mustard, no ketchup.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have...
Actually, I will say I do have a little bit of a catch-up.
Okay, tell me.
I don't remember what episode it was in, but I had a reference to a Helen Keller episode. And it's been catching a lot of attention online. So I just want to give that a quick shout out.
What?
There was an episode where our audio and our visual, we were a little bit nervous.
Okay.
And I made a reference saying it was a Helen Keller episode. And it's been getting a lot of attention.
From whom?
They know who they are.
Okay, so he's shouting out, whether you're real or not, he's shouting you out.
Oh, they're real.
Okay.
Barely.
Okay. So I have 5 pop culture stories for you, and we'll see if you've heard of them. We'll get your take on it.
Okay.
And then we have some recaps. We're talking, we didn't do this on purpose, but it kind of works out. If you have not had time to catch up on 1923, then what are you doing with your life? We will recap at the very end, and we can tell you when spoilers are about to happen, because I have so many big thoughts about 1923.
Yes.
You do too.
Yeah, but not as much as you do. You're pretty fired up.
Yeah, I'm mad about it.
It's been like 2 weeks and you're still fired up.
Yeah, I'm mad about it. So we're going to talk about it today. So anyway, are you ready to get into our stories?
Yeah.
Okay. I promise he's excited, guys. Like, I don't really know what's going on.
Guys.
It's our listeners.
I promise you, America.
Okay, so our first story. And I'm just going to read it to you and you can tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
Wendy's starts beef with Katy Perry after Blue Origin spaceflight. Can we send her back?
Whoa. Wendy's like the fast food?
Yes!
Whoa.
So there's a lot to uncover here and unpack. So if you've been living under a rock or if you just don't really know what's going on, Katy Perry and 5 other women,
Including Gail from the Today Show.
yes, and then 2 journalists and an actual space person.
Space person?
I'll read.
Astronaut?
Yes, thank you.
Space person? Alien?
No, stop.
What?
Stop. So
Wait.
they all went into space on. Stop. Listen. They all went into space, and Jeff Bezos is the one that made all of this happen. Yeah. It's the first female crew, and they're calling them a crew, and that's part of the story that just really kind of makes me laugh because
grinds your gears.
it does, because these women didn't do anything. They were just passengers. They sat there. Katy Perry sang "What a Wonderful World" while they were up in space.
Okay.
And so this is just a giant step back for women, in my opinion.
A giant step back.
Yeah, this just makes, like, I feel like it's fake feminism. Like, everyone is over it. There's been a lot of backlash. So here we go. I'll get into it.
But with Wendy's?
Yeah, we'll get into it. On April 14th, Blue Origin's all-female flight crew went to space as part of the New Shepard flight. The team consisted of film producer Carrie Ann Flynn, civil rights activist Amanda Wynn, aerospace engineer. See, she's not technically an astronaut. It just says aerospace engineer.
Okay.
Aisha Bowe, journalists Gail King and Lauren Sanchez, who just happens to be Jeff Bezos' fiance.
Yep.
And then singer Katy Perry. So then, like, look at this picture. Like, this is
the
live stream.
I saw her with the flower.
Yeah, so she had a flower because her daughter's name is Daisy. So she brought a daisy up there.
Generic.
Okay, well, she's married to Orlando Bloom.
Generic.
Okay, anyway.
All fake names. Wait, oh my god, you know what's crazy?
What?
Orlando Bloom, that's not his real birth name. I'm like almost positive.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. Katy Perry is definitely not her real birth name.
Well, people think Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey, but anyway, we won't get into that.
What?
That's a story for a different day.
Was she the one that was in like the pageants?
Yes.
Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah. Well, no.
Oh, okay.
So his actual name is Orlando Jonathan Blanchard Copeland Bloom.
How many names does one person need? That's like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names.
that's insane. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So they're all fake names.
That's true.
Is she still married to him?
Yeah. They've had their ups and downs, though, I believe.
Will Turner.
So, love him. But, so in my opinion, this was just doomed to fail. So a lot was just silly. Now, I will give them props. They got up into space and they got back down and everyone lived and it was great. But like, there's video.
Oh my god.
No, listen.
Is that like a Challenger reference?
No. I'm just saying.
That was a real female astronaut. I forget what her name is.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The Challenger.
I've never seen it. I don't know what that is.
America.
What is happening?
The Challenger.
I don't know what that is.
It was a spaceship that was going to go to space in the 90s and it blew up. And they all died.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But those were like real astronauts.
Yeah, but
that were actually risking their lives.
Yeah, but
Fun fact.
They
Also,
just went out of like. I feel like I just picture them. I know they went higher than this, but I just picture them like up where the airplanes are, and then them just like floating back down.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
What?
So the Challenger exploded. Look up what year. I can't remember.
Okay.
I wasn't alive, but it was in the 90s, and they were basically live. It was on TV that they were showing this, and they were showing it to a bunch of elementary kids.
1986.
Okay. They were showing it to a bunch of elementary kids
when they watched
exploded.
it blow up.
Yeah, and
I remember this.
There were teachers on there. And so the crazy fact is, Big Bird from Sesame Street was supposed to be on the Challenger.
Oh, but he wasn't?
He wasn't, which can you imagine how awkward that would have had to be explained to a child.
That's so sad.
Anyways. No, yeah, they didn't go like into space. They went like barely into orbit and came back down. It was like a 10-minute flight.
Yeah. So the funny thing is like, so friends and family of the members of the crew showed up to celebrate the flight, including Sanchez pals, Kris Jenner and Khloe Kardashian.
What?
And then King's bestie Oprah and Perry's daughter Daisy. But what is just so funny to me is that, so you have Katy Perry singing in space. They're acting like they orbited the Earth for like 365 days or something. There's footage of them coming back down into like onto Earth or whatever, and they're all like screaming bloody murder. Like, it's hilarious. They're screaming and you can hear it. And then Jeff Bezos is the first one to get to them, and he literally face plants.
Yeah, he falls.
And it was like, you can't make up like how good this comedy was. Like, no one could have written how funny all of this is.
My favorite part was that she got out, Katy Perry did, and kissed the ground.
She kissed the ground?
She was out there
so you do know about this.
Yeah,
This
she was
is
out there
hilarious.
for 10 minutes. So those poor astronauts were stuck in the International Space Station for like so many months.
Yes.
And yet they come back down. Okay, cool, whatever. She's up there for 10 minutes and
she's like, I have an appreciation for love. I just feel love. And I'm like, Katie, like, so she came on the scene and everyone was like, oh wow, who's this girl? Like, I kissed a girl and I liked it. Like, all these things. And so everyone was like, oh, she's edgy. She's cool. She's a pop princess. Then she became cringe. Then she got out of the cringe. And now she's back into the cringe again. And it's just really weird to me.
American Idol did not help her cringe thing.
And now, yes, you're right. And now everyone's like, you know that one song that's like, you're like an Indian summer in the...
Never.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Never once heard
Middle of winter. And she
Nope, not ringing a
she
bell.
sings it like really weird. And now
Okay, so why is Wendy's like starting beef with her?
Okay, here we go.
No pun intended.
So, others back on the ground were not feeling celebratory about the trip. Wendy's, the fast food chain, took aim at Perry, and not for refusing to sing her hit song E.T. while she was up there. So they tweeted to her, "Can we send her back?" And Katy Perry has returned from space, wrote Pop Crave on X, and Wendy's replied, "Can we send her back?" Whoa. And then Wendy's didn't stop at that jab either, writing several responses to posts about the flight, which all took aim at the Teenage Dream singer. So I kissed the ground and I liked it.
Funny.
I can disassociate for a lot longer than 11 minutes.
Don't understand.
Well, because they were only up in space for 11 minutes. She realized there's no biggie bags on the moon.
Okay, cheap.
I'm a woman.
Cheap corporate reference.
I'm a woman, send me to space.
What?
When we said women in STEM, this wasn't what we meant.
Whoa!
And then
it is true, though. Think about how many women are in STEM, and yet they'll never get to go to space.
And now Katy Perry and Gayle King get to check that off their list.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now she knows what it's like to be a plastic bag floating in the wind.
Whoa.
And so people were very split on this. So one user wrote, Wendy should be ashamed. Whoever tweeted this should be fired. And then other people are saying one of the best comments of all time, #1 troll award. And then someone said, haha, I have to go buy some Wendy's. And then Kesha comes on the scene randomly and posts this.
Oh, she's just drinking out of a Wendy's cup.
So she's smiling, kind of smirking, and she's drinking out of a Wendy's cup.
Okay, she's like the last person that needs to talk. She's disgusting.
Well, but the thing is this, though. So it has to do with the Dr. Luke drama, which Dr. Luke helped both of these women write their albums. But Dr. Luke, Kesha is claiming, like, assaulted her and was abusive. And Katy Perry backed Dr. Luke. And so they're saying that she's jumping on the train because of this.
Okay, that's just like she's been so out of the picture she wants to get in.
Yeah.
And Wendy's is going to be the thing that helps her get back in.
And then it keeps getting worse and worse. Are you ready? So then Katy Perry is up there and she reveals the set list for her tour in space. She's like holding up a butterfly to the screen and no one can tell what's happening. She's like trying to be Taylor Swift, but it's like really missing. And then people are tweeting all those emissions and all that money just for tour promo is honestly astounding and how vain and delusional it is. So this was, I really think...
Who is going to see Katy Perry on tour in 2025?
I mean, not anyone that we know.
What's like the Katy Perry stan name?
Yeah. Wait, they're fans? They're like the kitty cats.
What?
Yeah.
That'd be like the platypuses.
What the heck? Why?
Perry the platypus?
Oh, okay. That's clever.
From Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah. But then get this.
Okay, yeah. We'll just go over that. Edit.
Well, no, we're almost done. Oh, are you like giving a love on the spectrum?
No. Well, maybe.
Edit that out.
Okay, go. Keep going. Katy Perry.
Last thing. So on April 3rd, while co-hosting Today with Jenna and Friends, Olivia Munn, who should keep her mouth shut.
Whoa.
She is not anything about feminism. She said there are so many other things that are so much more important in the world right now. So she went after them.
True.
And then she said, what's the point? Is it historic that you guys were going on a ride? I think it's a bit gluttonous. Space exploration was to further our knowledge and to help mankind. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here?
Whoa.
So she like really kind of read them for filth. But she bugs me because we're not even going to get into it. But her whole thing with the Dear Darling or whatever that movie was that she made with Harry Styles, she's gross. She cheated on Ted Lasso.
I hate her.
Yeah, I knew you would. And then...
How could you cheat on Ted Lasso?
And then someone... Who is...
Jason Sudeikis.
Who is Bo? Oh, one of the ladies that was on... Oh, she's the aerospace engineer. She has clapped back at everyone and said, I wish those who are criticizing the mission could read the messages in my inbox. I am seeing boys and girls around the world say, I'm inspired.
Generic.
And I see myself in this crew.
Generic.
I just don't think that happens.
Generic. Nobody wrote that.
I don't think so either. So anyway, I don't know if we're going to get hate on this from our 5 listeners, but like, this was dumb. Like, this was just dumb.
What a way. I mean, okay, but here's the thing. And here's what I will always back. Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos paid for this to happen. Not that I'm like a Jeff Bezos fan by any means.
But he didn't use anyone else's money.
Yeah, like he didn't, I mean, maybe indirectly, but like, hey, he wanted this to happen. It happened, whatever. It's cringy, but I'm not going to be like, this was stupid. This like,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
But I mean, it was stupid. And like, are people correct? Could Jeff Bezos cure world hunger? Yes, but that doesn't help him. So he's not going to do it. You know?
Yeah, whatever. I mean.
And am I going to keep my Amazon Prime account? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Just because they all flew to space for 11 minutes, like, I don't really care.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Next story?
Yeah, next story.
Are you tired?
Well, I mean,
Already
Katy
tired.
Perry is such like a B list, anyways.
You think? Oh, this one's really gonna disturb
Once you
you.
go on American Idol, I mean, I don't know. Carrie Underwood is still A list, but like Lionel Richie,
Oh, hey.
he was great, but he's a C list now.
Whoa. No, he's
Oh.
a classic forever.
No.
Okay, are you ready for this next one? It's sad, but I didn't make it the last one.
Oh God.
Yeah, so you're gonna freak out about this, but we'll just go through it fast. So
What?
there's some new stuff going on with the Gene Hackman investigation. So rodents were on property, and then there was an alive dog that stayed by Betsy's side, even though she was passed away. It was very, very sad. So they didn't find any signs of rodents in the couple's main house, but they were found in multiple other structures on their Santa Fe property. So they found them in a couple of the detached garages. They found like rodent droppings. They found a rat nest. They found dead and alive rodents. So it just seemed like they were almost kind of living like in like gross conditions.
Okay.
But not in their main house. They said that the main house was pretty immaculate.
So why they got so many rats?
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like they're living on a lot of land. They just didn't take care of the rat problem, it seems like. So she for sure died of this hantavirus syndrome that's from rodents. He died from Alzheimer's and then high blood pressure. But what still just gets my goat is like, where was the family? Like, where were his daughters? Like, they should have checked in. Like, we haven't heard from dad in like 10 days. Like, I wonder what's going on. You know?
It's like my worst fear.
I know. And then last thing is people, there's some discourse right now because the body cam footage got leaked or released. And it's just like, I feel like it's a little bit of an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't foul play, there's no reason to release that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it sounds weird because like we don't hear about people dying from this type of thing of rat droppings on your hands and you get like we don't really hear about that.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to cover and say like, no, look, like it really was. So maybe halt kind of like some of the conspiracies.
That's true because there have been like a lot of weird conspiracies.
But still, I think it's weird. I mean, it's kind of like old news at this point.
Yeah. And I think they should kind of just like let it
Yeah.
go. But so apparently too, on February 11th, her masseuse got an email from her to cancel the appointment because Hackman was sick. So she wrote in the email, woke up today with flu and cold-like symptoms, did a COVID test negative, but out of abundance of caution, I should cancel. And then she also made a trip to the grocery store and local food pet store at the same time, on the same day. And that was the last time that she was seen in public, was that February 11th. And then his adult daughters said that they knew that their father was in decline. They said that on January 30th, 2024, they had to remind him 3 times that it was his birthday. But that was 2024. Like, so they haven't seen their dad since last January?
Maybe, but it might just be the example of like, this was maybe not imminent, but like he wasn't self-caring.
Yeah.
So especially if she passed away, he
had no one.
He was not going to be able to reach out to anybody and articulate what happened.
And then the 2 also said Hackman was so unfamiliar with contemporary technology that he only used landlines for phone calls and avoided cell phones. And they said that the couple was very private, would not hire housekeepers, though sheriff's deputies reported that the main residence was tidy. The daughter said that they had not seen rodents in the home, but they had seen mouse traps. It's all sad. And then the detective or report author said main dwelling clean with no signs of rodent activity. So it's just crazy to me. Like, how did she contract this when seemingly where she spent most of her time was inside the house? So maybe from the dog?
Possibly, or I mean, just not washing your hands when you come in. I mean, like, if you're doing garden work and you just don't wash your hands and just start doing whatever, I mean.
Yeah. It's just sad. I feel horrible for them. I hope their families get peace. And now that we know what happened, everyone can kind of just like let it go. You know?
Sure.
Are you ready for the next one?
I don't think I'm going to like this one.
So, no, you are, because it's someone you love. So, Jason Isaacs
Helen Mirren
is shutting down, stop it, speculation about the White Lotus season 3 cast. So, there's been a lot of drama, and I don't know if you could pay for this kind of press and publicity that this White Lotus cast is getting. So, Jason Isaacs plays the dad that is getting arrested and they lose all their money, and he got caught for fraud. He's also Lucius Malfoy, one of my favorite actors ever. He's quoted saying, "Nobody has the slightest clue what they're talking about." So Uncle Baby Billy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Goggins, what's his name? Walter Goggins.
Love that guy.
Well, he's in some hot water right now.
Get out of here, nerd.
So Uncle Baby Billy, we'll just call him Uncle Baby Billy.
Misbehaving.
Exactly. So if you're not watching,
told me not to. I did it anyway. Misbehaving.
If you're not watching,
I thought you were gonna
stop.
Okay,
if you're
sorry.
not watching Righteous Gemstones, you should be. That's why we're calling him Uncle Baby Billy. He also plays
Uncle Baby Billy's Bubble Bunkers.
Yeah, he also plays a guy in the White Lotus. Him and this girl named Amy Lou, who was also in the news because SNL made fun of her and the way that she talks in her teeth.
She is from Game of Thrones.
What?
She was from Game of Thrones.
What did she play?
Wasn't she? Oh, I forget his name. Sam's wife. Or am I completely wrong about that?
Wait, if you're right about this, I'm gonna scream.
She was either in Game of Thrones or Euphoria. I can't.
I feel like she is not in Game of Thrones. I'm looking at her IMDb.
I can't remember if it was Game of Thrones or...
It's none. None of the above.
Not in Euphoria? Where's she from?
Toxic Town, Daddy Issues, Sees Them, Allison Jack. Oh, she was in Sex Education.
Oh, yeah, from Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
That's where I know her. Never mind.
Apparently, her and Uncle Baby Billy had a thing on set.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been a lot of speculation, and a lot of people, some of the actors have been like, yeah, it was just like a summer camp, and people meet and there's drama, and there's a couple of actors that have been kind of like fueling the fire. Mm-hmm. So what's happened here is that apparently she's blocked from his Instagram. Eagle-eyed fans have seen that they're not following each other. They're not liking each other's posts, even when they're in each other's posts. She was really hurt and made a post about how SNL hurt her feelings, whereas Uncle Baby Billy retweeted or reposted the video, and he's like, this is spot on, amazing. Ooh. And so they're like, so either, in my opinion, either they did have an affair because he's married, they did have an affair and then he broke it off, or the wife found out and all this stuff or whatever, or they did not get along filming and they're just being like catty to each other. So there's like some drama, but what's his name? Jason Isaacs has shut it all down. He said, first of all, it's none of your business. And nobody has the slightest clue what they're talking about. And so there's just some drama. And then he deleted his comment and his post about SNL, Uncle Baby Billy. And
we should probably use his real name.
Okay, sorry. Walter Goggins. He deleted all of that because I guess he was getting backlash. So I don't know. What do you make of it?
I mean, from what I've heard about Walter Goggins, I do think he's a good guy. Like, from what I've heard is he was a struggling actor.
He was an addict.
And then, I'm blanking on his name. The guy from Righteous Gemstones.
Eli?
No, the Jesse. I forget what his name is.
Oh, shoot.
Look it up real fast.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard is he really took him under his wing. He's in all of his...
Danny McBride?
Yeah, Danny McBride. Really took him under his wing, was in a lot of his HBO shows. Obviously in Righteous Gemstones.
Well, what's fun about what HBO's doing is that they're making this like megaverse or whatever. And they're starting to like just use the same actors again and again, which we've seen in like... who loves to use the same actors again and again?
Taylor Sheridan from
Yellowstone. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan does. But there's like other people who are doing the same thing. I had this on at the... Like, shows like Game of Thrones like they love to use their actors again and again, in my opinion. But yeah.
And just like from what I've seen about Walter Goggins, like when people see him in public, he's so nice.
Yeah.
He will always stop, take a picture, and say thank you and all that. I don't know about this other girl. I mean, I watched her in Sex Education, but she was kind of like a secondary character.
I didn't know that you watched that show. I never watched
it. The first season was all right on Netflix. Definitely a mature show, so don't watch if you're not. But
yeah, all of these shows do not be watching.
All these shows are very mature. But I don't know. I mean, and then, I'm more likely to take his side just because of what I've heard about him. But also, all these actors are so messy. I mean,
they are. And like, to be an actor, you have to be crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then another bit of drama is that the creator, Mike White, and then the composer of the very famous, like, the theme song.
I've never seen the show.
Yeah, well, the theme song of White Lotus is like very recognizable. The composer quit, or it's reported that he's going to be quitting and not returning for the show's 4th season. And he's been having disagreements with Mike White, the show's creator, since the show's 1st season. He said that people were furious about the change of the theme song for season 3, which didn't include that fan favorite that I just did. And he texted the producer and told him that it would be great to, at some point, give them the longer version with the theme that they're familiar with. And he thought it was a good idea, but then Mike cut that and didn't tell him. So, like, composers anyway are very temperamental. So I think that's not great. And then Jason Isaacs kind of stepped in it because he said the set was like a theater camp as well as an open prison camp.
What?
Yeah, because they were all in Taiwan for 6 months and they couldn't leave and they weren't allowed to get sunburned and they weren't, like, it was a lot. And he said you couldn't avoid one another. There are tensions and difficulties. I don't know if they spilled from on screen to off screen or if it would have happened anyway, but he was probably off in a camp by himself because he's this actor, like, way up here. And the rest of them, like, I'm not saying they're not well known. One of them is, we just started watching American Housewife, and it's the blonde girl. She's in it.
Oh,
yeah. She plays like the Trump supporter or whatever. Yeah, she's funny in it. There were alliances that formed and broke. He said romances that formed and broke, friendships that formed and broke. It's a long period of time for people to be away from their family with an open bar and all the wildness being in Thailand allows.
6 months is insane.
And not to be with your family. But do you see what he did here? He totally stirred the pot.
To film a TV show for 6 months at a remote location is insane.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's longer than a lot of movies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He goes, I can't pretend I wasn't involved in some off-screen drama, he said. I can't speak for them, but I imagine they think it feeds into the on-screen drama. And they might well be right. I think the heat contributed to these fissures appearing. So he's making it sound like the producers and the crew were, like, stirring the pot and trying to make them, like, have, like, emotional outbursts at each other.
I mean, here's the thing. He's trying to get publicity for his show.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's working because we're reading a NBC News article about it.
Yep.
I don't know.
But isn't that interesting? There's just like, but the thing is, to me, they only have two examples. It's Amy Lou Wood and Uncle Baby Billy, and then the composer. Like there's nothing else that's being said, you know? So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Baby Billy's Baba Bunkus.
Okay. Ready for story number 4? Okay. Why are you acting so tired?
There's just a lot.
So we have another win for Justin Baldoni. So it ends with us. Crew member claims that Blake Lively tried to take power from Justin Baldoni and that she hopes the truth comes out. Okay. Storyboard artist Talia Spencer told 60 Minutes Australia. I don't know why she's all the way in Australia, but that's where she was. That Justin Baldoni was one of the few directors I've worked for that was kind and respectful. So it's just another point for Justin Baldoni.
Shrimp on the bobby.
And I don't know if he's just really good at paying people off or if it's actually all true. Because remember, we kind of came to the conclusion that everyone sucks in this scenario. But she said that he was one of the kindest directors she ever worked with, and that from the get-go, Blake tried to take everything over. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm so over it. The movie sucked. That movie sucked way too much to have this much drama about it.
That's the thing, and like
if it was a good movie, like okay, if it was a franchise, like that movie sucked. I was like sleeping.
You're hilarious.
It was stupid, and honestly, those two were like the worst part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
The young Blake Lively and the young what's
Spencer.
His name? Yeah, I can't remember. He has a great Brendan
Sklenar.
Yeah, those two were the best.
They were good.
The adults were the worst part, and honestly, the movie as a whole sucked.
Well,
so
there you have it, folks.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of drama from a movie that sucked. And I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna say it one more time, just so America knows. America, the movie sucked.
Okay, then we'll go fast through this story.
Thank God.
When asked whether she thought Lively wrestled control of the film away from Baldoni, she said, I think she tried to, yes. And she said, probably, yeah. I think there was a massive compromise in terms of Justin's original version of the film. So fans are now asking and wanting Justin's version of the film, or they're asking if they can refilm it without Blake Lively. I just still don't think it would help anything. But basically, they're supposed to be going to court, I believe, this summer is what I believe.
Generic.
But I could be wrong about that. Can you stop saying generic?
It's just my favorite thing to say.
What in the world? And basically, she said that she hopes to see both parties put their swords down and acknowledge their part in it and get along. But we don't really live in that world, right? It's a little late for that. I hope that the truth comes out. I hope that the innocent parties are proven innocent and we move on.
She doesn't get to try to play like peacekeeper now. She started all this.
No, it's not Blake. This was the storyboard person.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought that was Blake saying.
No, Blake has said nothing.
Well, that's why I was like, she doesn't get to play like peacekeeper because a lot of this was her fault.
Yeah. But then I'm like looking at all this and like I'm looking at the comments and people are just overwhelmingly Blake or Team Justin, even though everyone's like, we hate his personality. And I'm like, isn't that like classic? Like, don't like his personality, but we're still going to be on his team. So it's just interesting. It'll be so interesting when they go to court because I think it's going to be the likes that we haven't seen since like Amber versus Johnny.
That was great.
Oh, it was amazing. She just was floundering in court. I just think the same thing's going to happen. Okay, ready for our final story?
Oh, yeah.
This is mostly for me, and I'm so excited about it.
Oh, God. I'm going to go.
Could you be America's next great author? So, sidebar, if you don't know about me, I love to write. And I've written 4 books. 1, 2, 3. I've written 3 books. I'm writing my 4th book right now, and I'm trying to get traditionally published. So, I am what's called querying agents so that they can send my book to the big publishers because I can't just send my book to the publishers. They won't read it. So I've been in the query trenches since COVID, so for about 5 years. And I've gotten requests and stuff, but never anything that's hit out of the park or anything.
Not yet.
No, but hopefully one day. But this could kind of be my dream. So Kwame Alexander is going to host a new show to find out who America's next great author is. Okay?
I can't remember. I can't remember the exact circumstance, but I did in a way meet Kwame Alexander.
Whoa, really?
When I was at the University of Texas.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact context. I don't know if it was a Zoom call or
I wish we were actually friends and you could get me like in on this show.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact context, but I remember him being like very nice and like gracious.
So listen to this. Time to find America's next best-selling author. I think this is an amazing concept.
Okay.
A new literary competition series hosted by #1 New York Times bestselling author Kwame Alexander is in the works, and people can share this exclusive first look details. So it comes from Libby and Canopy and will follow 6 amateur writers as they compete for a book deal with a cash advance. The world is divided. Stories connect us, Alexander tells People in an exclusive statement. We all have a story to tell. In fact, 81% of Americans say that they want to write a book. America's next great author is here to tap into the massive audience of people, from book talkers to boomers, who love books and authors. He adds that the streaming series is a show about making dreams come true as we inspire and develop storytellers who are not typically given a seat at the table. Like, so cool.
Yeah.
So it's co-founded by a literary agent and an author. And the show will see the writers move into a house of dreams for 30 days. Then the writers will be tasked with writing 50,000 words, which I could totally do if I had nothing else to do but write. Oh my gosh. While participating in a variety of challenges and critiques from judges. And some of the quirky challenges will include performing in front of middle schoolers, which I would be so good at.
That's what we do every day.
Yes, and doing an elevator pitch in an actual elevator. It's not your typical elimination show. Contestants are encouraged to push through roadblocks and grow as writers, with one writer getting a coveted book deal and cash advance, which is just insane. It's set to go into production later this year. It will premiere in 2026. I just wish I could be a part of this. I'm definitely going to watch it, but how cool would that be?
How do you get on the show?
I don't know. At a time when literacy rates are dangerously low and libraries are under assault, it's critical that we work to share this journey of a diverse group of aspiring writers inspired by the power of storytelling to elevate an art form that connects us across all barriers. I just love that. That makes me want to cry.
I'm sure there's a way to audition.
People previously reported that a version of the show was seeking applicants in 2022. So maybe they already have their people.
Everybody tweet Kwame Alexander.
Emily Emmett needs to be a contestant.
Yep.
I just think that would be... Don't you think that's a really cool concept for a show?
I do. It's different and it's true. Literacy... both of us as teachers, we see literacy rates are really low, and kids don't really want to read,
and they're afraid to read out loud, and or
if they do read, and no skin off what I'm about to say, but they all want to read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which, hey, it's better to read that than nothing, but also when you're in 8th or 9th grade, that book needs to be in the past.
Exactly.
And kids don't want to take a chance on new books that have bigger words and are just more pages. So, and I get it. I was the same way. I actually read Kwame Alexander's The Crossover.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's a book all about basketball. I read that in
that's cool.
early high school, and it was, a little bit under my reading level, but I really enjoyed it. And it's a book that, I probably wouldn't normally pick up. I'm not a big reader. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea for a show. It's different, and
I just signed up to get information about casting calls.
Awesome. Everybody tweet them. It's a very niche audience that are going to watch the show, but it's a good platform for people that want to do this.
Exactly. And I don't know, that's just it. Dreams change and they ebb and they flow, but that's why I love theater. That's why I love teaching theater, because you have to read. You have to read the script. You have to say the words out loud. You have to get memorized and all those kind of things. And I think it really teaches some good life skills. And I think that's also why I've always loved to write. So yeah, that's I thought that was such a cool story. And I thought, what a good way to end.
Shout out Kwame Alexander.
Tweet him, please. I want to be one of the contestants.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Okay. Are you ready for our recap?
Okay.
We're already going pretty long right now.
Yeah, so it's got to be quick.
Yeah.
Let's just do that first.
So, 1923 finale happened. I'm devastated. So, if you haven't watched it yet, stop listening now. Spoilers ahead. I'm devastated.
Long finale. 2 hours.
So long. And I was already upset because I was just tired and it's a Sunday and I have to go to work the next day. So, Sunday scaries. But oh my gosh. I'm just upset. They killed everyone. They killed what's his name? Jack?
Yeah.
Killed Jack out of nowhere. He was a dummy anyway, but killed him. So I was mad about
just
that.
Cold blood too.
Yes.
Just you're done.
And just a lot of gratuitous scenes that I didn't care to see about the bad guy. We know he's a bad guy. We know he's bad. We don't need to see any more of the gross scenes. So that pissed me off. And then, of course, the number one thing, Alex died. Alex, my favorite character that Taylor Sheridan has ever written. Alex, who carried the whole dang show. And
crossed multiple oceans,
was essayed, was beat, was stolen from, don't even get me started. And then she dies from frostbite in her husband's arms.
In Bozeman.
And yet her preemie baby who was born 3 months early in 1923 can somehow live on goat's milk. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. Taylor Sheridan doesn't like women. I'm over it. Okay? He loves to ruin my favorite women characters. Case in point, Beth Dutton, who became a caricature of herself. I'm so over it. Mic drop.
I had a little bit different opinion. You can go back, like episode 2 or 3 of this podcast, I said...
You said she was going to die.
I said she was going to die. And I said that she may never even see Spencer again. Well, she did. It was a great reunion. He jumped off the train, saved her. But I knew she was going to die. Now, what I didn't like is how she died, where it was like she had the option to get her feet and her hands cut off. Maybe she would survive the amputation. She said no. I didn't like that.
They didn't say maybe you would survive. They're like, it's your only way to survive. So the Alex I know would have been like, give me what I can do to survive so I can be with my husband. And then at the very end, they're like, yeah, Spencer lived to be a very old man. He was with this widow, never married her, had a baby with her though. And then she left and he didn't care. And then he goes and dies in front. So Heathcliff meets Wuthering Heights and he dies on her grave. And it's like... Give me a break.
The biggest thing is, and I don't know if this is true, allegedly Matthew McConaughey is doing a 1943 show all about Yellowstone and all that. But how are they going to have that without having Spencer?
I won't be watching, so I do not care.
Because it's only a 20-year difference. Spencer, in theory, would still be alive. So how are they going to have a Matthew McConaughey spinoff without Spencer? I don't know. It was just sad because 1923 was probably the best season of TV I've ever seen. That first season was amazing.
It was incredible, and it was beautifully shot. The costumes were beautiful. The script. Like, the thing that I just think is mean, and I get that life is like this, but we don't... Oh my gosh, there's a huge spider web. The thing is, in real life... things don't go right and tragedies happen, but we're watching TV to escape reality and to be entertained. So like you set up all of these beautiful relationships, even the one with the annoying blonde girl who I didn't really care for. Like she grew a lot in this season, and for her storyline to just be like, okay, I'm leaving. Well, what happened to their baby? She was pregnant. And so I just feel like he was really careless with these characters that he curated very carefully in season 1. And now in season 2, he blew it all up for no reason.
Yeah, but it's, you got to remember, Yellowstone and Game of Thrones are very close. It's never going to end good. Anytime things are going good, it's going to go bad.
Well, it's Shakespearean.
Yeah, if they're in a car and just driving, you know it's going to get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Same thing in Game of Thrones. The Red Wedding. Oh, it's so happy. We're here. This is great. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Like, there's never going to be a happy ending in a Taylor Sheridan show.
And I guess we should have known that because John Dutton, like our very first hero, was so tortured and there was so much going wrong. So I guess I should count my blessings that he didn't, like, kill Beth, I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm annoyed. If you want to watch it or watch 1923, just watch the first season and just, like, pretend like they ended up together. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very emotional if you rewatch season 1.
Oh, I will never.
Now knowing how season 2 ends.
Yeah, I will never.
It's so hard because those two actors, Spencer and Alex, had some of the most on-screen chemistry I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. They had
on a TV show.
They had great chemistry.
And then to know that it ends with that, where she's run down, frostbitten, dirt poor, all this... And she just dies, and it's like, oh, well.
And she was royalty, y'all. She was literally like...
Yeah, she was the whatever of Sussex.
Yeah, it really makes me mad. They did her so dirty, and I get that Spencer's a survivor, and he's like, I'm going to go find the man that killed my wife. But he didn't even give her a second glance, and I knew that he probably couldn't. But, like, ugh, it was all icky, and I want to stop talking about it.
All right, well...
So anyway, y'all.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter, everybody.
He's risen.
We will I don't know what our next episode is. There's some updates that we could do on the Idaho 4 case.
Reddit stories.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a Reddit story.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
I'll do a better job of researching.
I found a funny meme that said ways to tell if you're marrying the right person or not. Read, am I the jerk to each other, and decide if you guys agree on it. And like that's like a good way to know if you're marrying the right person. So I thought that was pretty funny. So I think next week we could do a Reddit stories, and then maybe we could do like a relationship show again.
Yeah, no more Idaho 4.
Okay.
That was good. We'll have to.
Yeah. Okay, well, everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Peace.